You said how much you love playing live. That's like your favorite thing to do.
Uh-huh.
Will you share with us a story, something that stands out that happened either on tour or at a live event?
Oh, there's so many. There's good ones. How about, okay, we were played at the House of Blues in L.A. and we went over to the Rainbow, and my bass player cello said, "Hey, there's Lemmy over there playing, poker. Lemmy from Motorhead is always in there, and he's always playing the video game poker." I was like, "Oh, really?" He really said some really cool stuff about Blurry in like Guitar Player magazine. And cello was like, "Let's go up and talk to him and tell him you wrote it." So I went up there and I was like, "Hey man, I wrote Blurry. Thanks for saying that." And, Guitar World. He said, "Yeah, I think that's the best, one of the best, modern rock songs there is out there." He's like, "You need to keep doing what you're doing." And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" He's like, "Just do that again." Oh yeah, just lightning in a bottle. It just strikes. But it was kind of a trip because it's like I really couldn't he was drunk and I couldn't really understand what he was saying part of the time, so I was just like shaking my head. "Yeah, cool, Lemmy, yeah." He's like, "You're an awesome songwriter, and that song," he's like really raving about it. And I was like, "Wow, this is really cool, Lemmy." You're hanging out at the Rainbow or whatever, and that you get a rock god telling you he likes your song. You'd think I would think Lemmy would hate that song, but no, he was like, "Yeah, it's one of the best rock songs of all time." I'm like, wow.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Well, we have been playing all your songs, which I
Cool,
love.
thank
Actually, I have to tell you, I love The Way You Hate Me, but I really, really love Another Nail in the Coffin.
Uh-huh.
Are you guys going to do a video for that?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a full production kind of video. I've been writing a storyboard, and I know, that, there's been some cool ideas tossed around. And it's like we do our own videos, so it's like we wish we could have, we wish we could have it out already, but we're poor musicians, and we're also kind of slow. So, but we want to, we definitely want to do something pretty creepy and cool, and, we have fun doing the videos. It's work, but, somebody's got to suffer for our art.
Well, I love that one. Can you tell me about the making of the video for Love the Way You Hate Me?
Yeah, that was another one where we kind of sit around and we're just kind of, I'll sit down with the guys and I'll throw out my ideas. It's like to the last minute kind of thing where it's like I had the crazy bitch idea, the intro thing. I had that idea to the last second, and I was like, "How about we show the phone ringing and it comes up crazy bitch," and that was at the very last second of putting the video together. A lot of people get a kick out of that, and I'm like, I'm glad we did that, But yeah, we did most of it in Malibu at 5 in the morning.
Oh, is that Malibu?
Yeah, it's Malibu. We're on that, so you see the ocean behind us and stuff. And basically, what we're trying to convey is that we're kind of playing an atomic bomb of hate kind of thingy, and it's at the end it blows up and we're inside the fire and all this stuff. But yeah, it was Malibu at 5 in the morning. We opened up Starbucks that day in Malibu, and we were like wearing all this black gear and stuff, and they're like, "Well, what are you guys doing?" "We're doing a video," So we're up on this mountain in Malibu, which I don't know how we got really up there, but so we're like kind of playing, we're simulating playing. You could hear stuff. You could kind of hear thud of the drums, but we weren't actually using amps or anything. But it's like we see the cops. Beeping.
Oh, no.
It's like, oh, crap, we're in Malibu. We're going to get a huge fine. They're going to, oh, God. And they get up there, and the cops get up there, and they're like, "Oh, you guys are in trouble. What are you guys doing?" And we're just like, we're just, doing our own video. It's like, "When's it coming out, man? You guys got to send it to us." And, we were like, totally.
Cool.
Yeah, we made two, especially Malibu cops, I
know. I was going to say, how rare to have a good cop story.
And they were really wow, that's we showed them we had, the GoPro cameras and some of the stuff, that we were shooting that day, we were like, look at this. And they're like, "Whoa, you guys look cool." So we're like, we're so relieved that we didn't get a fine, because sometimes in LA you get shooting fines and all this stuff for just filming outside of a bar and stuff. And we were just as soon as we saw them coming up the hill, we were like, crap.
Well, that's cool. What is next for you, and what's next for Against All Will?
Well, I know more songs, releasing more stuff. We want to get some new video stuff, some new material, and some different stuff out there. I've been working in the studio and kind of writing some new stuff, and kind of feeling that out. But then trying to get out and play some shows maybe this summer. Try to do something. We've kind of our shortfall's been touring since it's kind of expensive. We'd kind of go out there by the seat of our pants, and kind of realize when we were halfway out there that we were broke, and we're like, we shouldn't have done this. I mean, it's like, we're not real high maintenance kind of band or anything either. And it's kind of like, wow, this is really expensive. We thought we were going to make money, but now we're paying to play.
Yeah.
So we've just got to be wise in 2014.
Well, thank you so much. I know the audience is going to love listening to this.
Awesome. Thank you for all the support and playing the music and everything. It makes us feel really good that we have, people on our side. I mean, we're just little guys, but we remember where we came from. Because sometimes we'll get people that will come up to us and they're like, we came to LA to see you, and we're like, where are you from? And they're like, well, Boston. We had this fan that's a friend of ours, Eric Barney, and he travels from Boston, and we were like, well, you're part of the crew now. And he's like, cool, and it's like somebody that travels that far to see you, you at least got to roll out the red carpet and stuff.
Yeah, and it means so much to them, and they become your evangelist,
Uh-huh.
And it's just an awesome win-win.
Yeah, and it's really, that's where it's like, it reminds you of, the way it was, probably in the old days, in the music business and stuff. You get it, every once in a while we get a glimpse of it, and it's really, it's one of those things where you're like, they really, took it for granted, but, especially, I know me and my guys, we don't take it for granted. I learned stuff from the fans, what they, how they kind of feel about songs or whatever, Some of them are dark, and some of them, are just plain out, cool people or whatever, but